Okay, so, like, you know how everyone's obsessed with Breaking Bad?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely still so popular.
And, like, people are always going nuts over those filming locations.
Right. Totally.
Well, get this, the actual houses, like Walter White's house
Yeah.
and Jesse Pinkman's house, they were both, like, up for sale.
Oh, wow. No way.
Yeah, and it's like a total trip because it kind of makes you think about, like, what it would be like to actually live in those places, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure. Like stepping right into the show.
But, like, it turns out it's not all, like, fun and games, especially for, like, the people who owned Walter's place.
Oh, I bet.
So this family, the Quintanas, they'd been living in that house in Albuquerque for, like, over 50 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
And then, bam, Breaking Bad explodes. And suddenly they got, like, hundreds of fans showing up at their doorstep every single day.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
Seriously, like 300 cars a day stopping by, taking pictures, like just total chaos.
They must have been so overwhelmed.
Totally. And eventually it got so bad they decided to sell the house after living there for like their whole lives.
Yeah, I can understand why they would want to get out of that.
It really makes you think about like how intense fandom can be,
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. There's this like need to connect with the things we love, but sometimes it goes a little too far.
Oh yeah, and remember that whole thing with fans throwing pizzas on the roof?
Oh yeah, trying to recreate that scene.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it got so out of hand that Vince Gilligan, the guy who created the show, actually had to ask people to stop.
I remember that. Like, come on, people. It's a real house with real people living in it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they forgot it's not actually Walter White's house, you know?
Right. It's blurring the lines between fiction and reality.
Okay, but now let's talk about Jesse's house because that's a whole other story.
Oh, yeah. What about that one?
So it sold back in 2015 for $1.6 million,
Eh.
which is actually way less than what Walter White's house went for.
Interesting. So, what's the story with Jesse's place?
Well, in the show, he inherits it from his aunt, right?
Yeah, right.
But then in real life, his parents like tried to sell it without him knowing.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. It's kind of crazy he actually had to buy it back from him.
That's wild. It's like a whole drama outside of the show.
Right. It adds like a whole other layer to the story of the house.
Definitely, like, it's got this real world connection to the character.
And get this, to protect the real house
Mm-hmm.
from like crazy fans, they actually built a replica of the inside on a set.
Oh, wow. That's smart. Thinking ahead.
Yeah. Because, you know, some fans might be tempted to like recreate some of Jesse's wilder moments.
Yeah, definitely not a good idea in someone's actual home.
So yeah, owning a piece of TV history is cool, and well, I bet it comes with a lot of baggage.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to have that connection, but all the attention and the craziness.
Right. Would you want to deal with all that?
It's a tough call, I think. Like, on the one hand, you've got this piece of a story that's, like, touched so many people. But on the other hand, you got to deal with the fact that it's not just yours anymore. It's like everyone feels like they have a piece of it.
Yeah, it's almost like these places become more than just houses, you know?
Right. They become like symbols of the show and everything it represents.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating. It's like this weird collision of fiction and reality.
Yeah. And it makes you think about like how much power stories have to like capture our imaginations and make us want to connect with them in a real way.
Totally. And sometimes in some pretty unexpected ways.
Exactly.